When you're viewing an outline, there are a number of different ways to expand and collapse your data. We've already seen in the prior movie that by clicking number 2, we can view only the quarterly totals and the grand total. If we click the number 1, that's in the vertical 1, 2, and 3 here, clicking the number 1 collapses the display to show only the grand total. Let's click the 2 again, bring back the quarterly total, and notice that down the left-hand side we've got 4 outlining symbols. That's because we've got different kinds of totaling taking place here. So if we click option 3 here, it collapses the view somewhat, but not entirely. Clicking 2 collapses it substantially. And clicking 1 would show only a single row. If both of these 1s are clicked, of course, we're not seeing very much at all. So some of these views, of course, are totally inappropriate. So that view is pretty skimpy too. So we might want to expand, and we can, if we wish, expand and collapse a portion of this. For example, maybe at some point a discussion breaks out about last year's third quarter being a bit of a problem, and what are we projecting for next year? Let's expand just the third quarter to see what the projections are here. And we see these numbers for July, August, and September. In other words, we've expanded the third quarter entry. And there's a minus, and we might want to collapse it, or possibly display the detail for second quarter while we're at it. In other words, we've got this freedom to expand and collapse portions of this by using the pluses and minuses that we see. We might not want to show all the expense detail right now. Let's just hide that portion of it, but meanwhile keep some of the other details up here. In other words, we might want to show some of the detail for the revenue and cost of goods sold, but not the expenses. So in a variety of ways, we can use these expanding and collapsing buttons here to activate these capabilities. Now, another option too. Suppose the display is currently as it is and a discussion breaks out about this topic or that, and you realize that you might want to show more data, and for the moment we don't need to see the outlining symbols. So at a later time we'll come back and bring them back, but we can press Control 8 at any time to either hide those symbols or bring them back. So if we are about to show more data, we actually would have to do that first and then press Control 8. Maybe we want to show total expenses now. And without scrolling up and down, press Control 8, hide those symbols, and now we can almost see everything we need. But certainly something else we could do is simply to double-click one of the tabs in the ribbon, any one of them. Double-click causes that to collapse, and we're seeing more data that way. And in the upper right-hand corner, you can click that arrow for ribbon display options and auto-hide the ribbon. So right now we're seeing down to row 31. If we auto-hide the ribbon, now we're seeing down to row 34. So you can certainly use those capabilities as well. We could press Control 8 now to bring back the outlining symbols and still not see the ribbon at the top of the screen. So different techniques there. If that ribbon is hidden, we slide to the top of the screen and click, and it comes back. And then we might decide to resume the normal display, which is show tabs and ribbons. So different ways to expand and collapse this. So if we no longer are interested in using the outline for the moment, we don't necessarily get rid of the symbols. We simply go back to the Data tab and choose Ungroup and then Clear Outline. So ideally, a tool for certain kinds of presentations and displays, and sometimes even if it's just you working with the data, you want that quick ability to expand and collapse by way of the outlining feature.